My advice to any UMD student who would want to start a business is to start from a place that you know. So I've been, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for pretty much my entire career. And so I get the opportunity from time to time to help people who are thinking about starting companies. And a lot of times people come in and say, well, I have this idea where we're going to go, be the next Facebook, be the next Uber, be the next Amazon, be the next, whatever. Or, they've got the meats story. It's like Uber Eats meets, the Home Depot. I don't know, whatever. And so I start talking with them about it. I say, okay, that's a really interesting idea. And I try to ask them a lot of questions that boil down to, well, what do you know about any of those things? And aside from the idea, there isn't a whole lot that they know about those things. And there's so much work to do to create the innovation that you need to succeed in the marketplace. And there's so much work to do to actually run the company that you're going to have your hands full learning new stuff. And if you're not really an expert, or you don't have a good understanding of the thing it is that you're trying to change, or the value that it is that you're trying to create, you're going to struggle. So look in the spaces that you know for things that could be a lot better for people. And then my second piece of advice is nail your financial model first, because it's going to be wrong anyway. But if you haven't figured out how you're going to pay the bills, then the only thing you're going to have time for is trying to figure out how to pay the bills. So make sure you understand how you're going to be able to translate that value that you're trying to create into dollars.
When you're doing that financial model, it's really powerful, one, to understand what your passions are, because each and every day you're going to get tested on, are you doing the right thing or not, and is this what you want to do? And then understand what your minimums are. And what I mean by that is that when you're starting something new and you're trying to go from a 0 to a 1, or just repeat what someone else has done, there are a set of minimums that you need to do to pay the bills, to keep the family happy, and keep your personal life going where it needs to be going. And I've seen a couple of times where folks don't really understand that, and they're so focused on the maximum, on how big it could get, and how that they're not able to really get enough runway to take off. And so having that understanding of kind of both ends of that, right, is what really I found most powerful out of the Smith Business School, because we could articulate both from a people perspective, a customer perspective, an accounting perspective, a market perspective, of how these things do come together. And it's just as important to understand the bottom part as it is to understand the upper part, and figure out where you are in that.
My piece of advice for a UMD student looking to start their own business would be to surround yourself with people better than you are. As you start talking about what it looks like in building out a great team, you have to have those balances, strengths, and I would call them weaknesses, but one of the things I learned in the Smith School was to call them areas of opportunity. And so you have that complete team. That would be my piece of advice and critical in getting going.